This is Kerry Stellar from In the Girls Corner, and I'm here with Marissa Pacelli. Marissa, how are you?
Good, good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be talking to you again. You're, about a week out from your match.
Yeah,
You're feeling really good.
I'm super excited.
Are you? It's different than a fight camp because you don't need, as much time to I guess, wind down with their sparring and stuff. You can still spar and light roll and, get
Exactly.
ready.
No, it's pretty good. It's like, just basically trying to prevent injury in that short period of time, because it always happens like right before. I don't want to jinx it, but it always happens like right before.
It's so funny. I notice that's usually what it's like, a freak little weird things, but we're not going to jinx it.
Nope,
How
not
how is everything going with your fight camp?
so far so good. I feel like really great overall. I'm with like two very good teams. I'm with Up Top and Black Hole, and my instructors Yanni and Mike are, I feel like, really preparing me for big things. So I'm very excited.
Amazing. I didn't get to ask you the last time. How
Yeah.
did you get into jujitsu? Because I noticed you said your journey. And how did you get into it? And, what has your journey been like?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I started I think it was like 18 or 19. And basically I started because when I was a kid, I did karate like pretty much my entire life. And one of my karate friends, we're like, both adults now. She was like, "Do you want to try Brazilian jiu-jitsu with me?" Like we're too old to be doing karate. But doing jiu-jitsu. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that would be really cool." So I tried it out, and she ended up quitting. She wasn't really into it. And then, funny enough, she did sign again, but later on, she's a blue belt now.
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
yeah, but it was really cool because I just kind of caught the bug. Like I was like really obsessed with it like immediately. And she's very good. She's a very good striker. So it was just like different for her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, how many you've done quite a few competitions. Have you done like the tournaments where there's like, you got the brackets and all of that stuff? And do you like that better, or do you
Yeah.
like a super fight better?
So honestly, there's pros and cons to both. I've done both. I've done, like IBJJF. I just did trials. Sometimes I've done brackets for money. Like last year, I won the Ironman grappling 45 title, and I won $1,000, which was really cool.
That's awesome.
There's cons. I mean, like it's definitely nice to have multiple matches because like you could like I like filming myself and like really like analyzing like what I'm doing. So there's more match footage when you have multiple matches, which I love. Um, but at the same time, it's like after that first match, it's like, oh crap, I'm not done. So that's the downside.
One.
Yeah. But the one and done is nice because like win or lose, you're done. And then you
Yeah,
could go friends.
true. How do you expend your energy when you do a tournament and be able to go from one match to another, say, point of view?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Like it's all about like conserving your energy if you know you're gonna have a lot of matches. I remember I did a Naga once because I was just trying to like get some reps in. So I'm like, I'm gonna do a Naga and I'm gonna enter. I think I entered at like 4 or 5 divisions, and
Mm.
I had like some ridiculous amount of matches. It was like 11 or 12 or something. And I knew I was going to have an 11 or 12 matches. So normally like I go immediately for subs. Like I'm just hunting subs, hunting subs, hunting subs.
Oh, you're
But in my
constantly.
head, yeah, I was like, all right, now I'm going to play the points game because I don't want to like jump on a submission and gas out,
Yeah.
in my first match.
Now, do you like a points match, or do you prefer submission only matches?
I personally prefer sub only, just because, stylistically wise, like I'm not really like a points player. Yeah, I think it's great when people are. I think that makes your jujitsu like really well rounded and dominant. But historically for me, I've been more of like a guard player, submission hunter,
Okay.
and I prefer submissions. It's just more satisfying.
I happen to agree with that, being that I train. My coach is like, you're constantly attacking. He's like, it's so funny. And I like playing from guard too, because you can get a lot of submissions from there. And a lot of people are afraid from being, opening up their guard, and, especially people that are newer. And it's a lot of fun. And now that there's so many females that do it, it must make it so much easier, because now you don't have to travel to so many gyms and, so many places to catch females to train with.
Oh, absolutely. Like when I came up, there was like not a lot of females. Like I had one girl in my gym, and then at one point she wasn't there anymore, so it was like just me. But now it's like even my original gym in New Jersey, like we have like 10 plus girls, and Black Hole has like so many girls. And
Mhm.
it's like such a nice thing. It just feels good to be, like moving up this way in the world.
Agree. Because there really was a lack of them, and I noticed that, like, especially, in New York, Long Island, the pool is really small, and you see girls that are friends, and it's a small place. It's not as big as you think. So, some people don't want to have matches against each other. Personally, I'll match up against any of my friends. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I find it fun. Like, it's jujitsu, it's fun, but it's you. I want to win, and I'm gonna beat you, but I like it. I get that completely. And there's a lot of now, like, female tournaments and stuff that are really geared towards women. Do you see yourself doing a Medusa? Is there maybe a combat jujitsu in your future?
Honestly, I would really love to be on something like Medusa. Like my jujitsu goal, like obviously I would love to eventually win trials, or at least place in trials. That's a big goal. But for me, like something like being on EBI or Medusa would be like a major goal, for me. Like I would love to be on Medusa.
Yeah, it's a huge card. All the girls that are on there are amazing. The coverage is great. Fight to Win would be another one I would say you should think about,
Yeah.
because they have a
Yeah.
lot of really good cards. They do it all over, so you could travel, not too far if you wanted to.
I would love to, and honestly, I don't really know why I haven't signed up to do one yet, but I would definitely love to have a match on one. I think that would be really cool.
Do you ever think about maybe doing like a all-female seminar and starting one up, because there is such a pool of new females coming up in jujitsu, even girls that just want to, don't want to compete and just want to train. uh
Yeah.
hasn't really been any, and there's more, so many either geared to both or just men, especially none with female coaches.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, honestly. I would honestly be honored to be on one. I know I can't really, speak too much about it too soon, but I got invited to do a female camp, and I can't really say where yet, because I want it to come to fruition first. But with one of my friends, and that would be a huge honor. Hopefully this spring, if all goes well.
Oh, that is awesome. Keep me posted. I'd love to hear about what that
Oh,
is, who's going to be there. And, those are always fun. I hear about them all the time, the grappling camps. So they look like a good time.
absolutely. And another one that I've really wanted to go to, and I just haven't been able to make it date wise, is grappling getaways with, April Parks and Katie Hooven. I have a match with Katie again, but it seems really fun.
It does. A bunch of my friends went to the one that just passed in, it was October, the weekend of the 21st. So a bunch of
Yeah.
my friends, it looked like a really good time.
My really close personal friend Nicole Matthew is there, dressed up as Colonel Mustard, because they did a Clue theme.
That is amazing. She looks like such a good time. Holy shit, that's a great clue theme. I fucking love it. And Colonel Mustard.
She was so cute. She even had the little mustache on. It was adorable.
Best shit ever. I love that. Have you ever done any, kind of grappling getaways or anything like that?
I've honestly never gotten the opportunity to. No, I've wanted to for a really long time. I think it would be really cool. Yeah, but I haven't had the chance yet.
It's almost like going, for me, like it would be like going, like, I think I spoke about it with you before, going to Invicta, and everybody, for all the girls from New York that were on that card, even like, have you guys done that where you've been on a card with a bunch of your friends?
Yeah. I love that. That's like the best feeling is competing alongside my friends. I even did, there was a women's only team event in HCS grappling, and I got
Ooh.
to compete alongside my two close friends, Nicole Matthew and Lydia Coleman Bermasco. So that was like really cool.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Now, you have a good amount of tattoos. I love that.
Yeah.
Hear about them. And I want to know, what do you do if you get a tattoo in training? Because I mean, I see so many people, obviously a lot of us have tattoos, and I haven't gotten one yet while training.
Yeah. So honestly, my tattoo artist was like, pretty real with me about it. And basically said, just take at least a couple days off, just to prevent staph, anything with like an open cut, you don't want to get staph.
Yeah.
But for this particular one that I just got, I did take a full week off just
Mhm.
because I was battling some injuries that I wanted to heal. And honestly, that week was so good for me and I feel like fully recovered and it's been really good.
And sometimes it's super necessary. And it's like when you're presented with that opportunity just to take a rest, I tell people, don't
Yeah.
ponder it, do it. What if that's just what your body needs?
Yeah, no, my body needed it and I came back like feeling like better than ever. So it was good.
What what did you get done?
So I got I'm wearing a sweater now, so it's hard to see, but I got a snake on my arm. I got it by Adam Mishinovic. He trains with me at Black Hole. Let me see if I could pan over to it. It's
Oh,
like a
that
snake arm.
I like that. You have a lot of black and
Thank-
white tattoos, or do you have color tattoos?
yeah,
Notice a lot of black
I
and white
have
tattoos.
I have all black and white. I actually I've yet to get a color tattoo.
I pay attention to that stuff because I love tattoos so much. And that's something I was like, you know, thankfully you can remove tattoos. Would I ever want to, do something where it splashes of color? Nah, for me, I like the color. But I do like the idea of a black with a splash of color, or just straight, black and white and shades. That looks so nice.
Are yours all color or do you have black and white?
Predominantly all color, except for no, that has a pop of color. A lot of them have pops of color or straight color, and they're traditional. I went with the traditional theme, even like traditional Asian, with the
Awesome.
out different. And I had one removed recently. I showed you the last time. That was not a
Oh,
lot of
I hear
it sucks, and it takes a long time. So I tell people, really, 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 like, make sure you know what you want, because it's not fun getting them removed. But the option is there, which is nice.
absolutely.
And it's not as bad as it used to be. It's come a long way. So, and every time I went for a session, and I had to get quite a few, they would have a new thing, a new machine, a new this. And I was like, all right, this is cool. They're constantly changing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's
great that you have the op.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a nice thing, but again, I got mine just light enough that I could cover it, because I really don't want to have to do it as anymore. It's a couple little bit of times was enough. I think it was
Yeah.
8. It's enough. I'd rather get something done now at this point. It's been a while. I haven't gotten a tattoo, so I can't wait.
Oh yeah. No. Do you have any plans to get another one?
I do. I want to get this one covered. I It's like an Asian Japanese theme. I have a koi fish and some water and pretty flower, a lotus back here. So I'm thinking I want to give my tattooer ideas and not take the pen out of their hand, and kind of let them, rock with it. Because that's usually when it comes out
That's
not great, is when I try to like do what I want or what I think is going to work. So I do want to see and maybe a flower, but let them figure it out.
think that would be so cool to like just see what they come up with.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you just tell them like what you want. All right, I already have this, stick with it, do what you want. And it's usually that's when it'll come out the best, especially if like you just give them an idea.
Absolutely. And that's not like what I did with my tattooer Adam. I gave him an idea and like a couple pictures of like what I was thinking. Um, and he came up with like the design and the design was like perfect. I was like, I love it. Perfect.
You know what? When it's perfect, it's perfect. And that's awesome because, again, you want to be able to put your creative ideas in it, you know, but you know, like to me, picking something off the wall or something that they did on somebody else, like I would rather the custom, you know, what's in their head. What do they think would
I
look good?
agree. I totally agree. And he drew it the day of, which was really cool. Like, yeah, so it was like fresh. It was really nice.
I love that. Most of mine were no, I think almost all of mine, maybe one I picked off a wall. It was dragging on the back of my neck, which I love it. But the rest of them were all, you know, we talked about what I wanted and they did what they wanted from there for pretty much
Yeah.
like a gigantic leg. And I wanted it to be really small. And my tattooer, she was like, listen, she was like, that is like, you have a lot of legs. She's like, you're very, like, I do have 40 inches of legs. So she's like, putting a small tiger, it's going to just look like it's not even there. So she was like, she convinced me to do it for my knee to my thigh.
Oh, that's
And it was
awesome.
so much better. I'm like, I'm so glad I did that.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Yeah. To it too. I just talked to her the other day. I'm like, you know what? I have some ideas. I want to add to the tiger. I want to do my arm. And I'm like really excited. So I know that that's going to be in the near future. So I had
That's
to
gonna
ask
be.
about trading with it.
Oh yeah, no, I would definitely honestly take time off. They say a couple days for infection purposes, but the
Yeah.
thing is, if you go back too soon, especially if it's a big piece, it could like scar up and get bumpy.
That's what I was thinking from the rubbing against it. So even like, you know, a week isn't a terrible idea to wait.
Taking the week is nice too, because you could heal up as long as you don't have anything coming up. It's like nice to heal up some injuries, and it's good. You come back fresh and like hungry.
Absolutely. It's so true. And that's, you know, it's necessary, which is awesome. And it's needed. And, you know, we're coming into like the fall, winter. Well, we're coming into the winter time, and the fall time is perfect time to get tattoos. Although I know a lot of people get them in the summer, which is kind of a little backwards, but
I think honestly, the winter and the fall. The fall is the best. The winter is not bad. Like everyone's like, oh, it's hard getting tattooed in the winter. It's better than summer because you got to worry about the sun, and
yeah,
everything's horrible.
yes, it's so true. And speaking of the winter, what do you have any plans going on this winter? I know you have a match this weekend. Where is your match this
Yeah.
weekend? Who is it for?
So I'll be in Austin, Texas at Main Character Jiu-Jitsu. It's like a new card. Yeah. And it's going to be really cool. I'm facing Katie Hooven. And I'm really excited.
That is awesome. Have you ever been to Texas before?
Oh, never.
No, that's amazing. I've heard it's awesome. So, and the food I heard is fantastic. I would definitely try to eat while you're there.
I'm really excited. I'm gonna definitely, eat what I can. I still have to be mindful of my weight, but I'm definitely gonna eat what I can when I'm out there.
When are you leaving?
I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah,
good.
that's awesome. And have you done a lot of traveling for competing?
Not a terrible amount. Like I've gone to Vegas to do IBJJF. And obviously like anywhere that's like driving distance, like I've competed in like Virginia, like the DMC area, Massachusetts, like anywhere that's driving distance, I've been to, but not really too many, like far, far away.
So Medusa would be a good goal to go for because that's usually in Mexico, right?
Yeah, no, that would be really awesome. I've never left the country either, so I think it would just be like really awesome.
That is amazing. I only did once. Oddly enough, I went to Mexico. So speaking of Mexico, that's where I went, Cancun, and it was not. It was not for spring break. It hot as hell during like June, no, July. I think it was July first week. My family went. I
Okay.
love heat, so for me, it was just perfect. It was amazing. And I loved it. I had a great time. But apart from that, I've never been out of the country. So, and right now I wouldn't want to, but you know, if things change in the future and the things calm down, I would go.
Yeah, it's hard, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like I feel like anytime that I want to, it's like either like financially not an option or it's like there's crazy stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
And it's like I end up just staying in the country, you know?
Okay. Same. You know what? You're safer. It's, you know, like you said, you could get there easier, and you know, you don't have to worry about a bunch of bullshit. And it is, it's such a bunch of bullshit.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, it's traveling, you know, domestically is a lot easier too. You don't have to worry about so much.
Oh yeah, I prefer driving if I can, but
Me too. I hate
yeah.
flying. Not a fan of flying. I just don't think we belong there. So for me, I'd rather take
Yeah,
a road.
I'm 100% with you. I feel like they don't belong there, and I don't feel safe in the air. I like to have my feet on the ground.
Exactly the same way. So if I could drive there, but we took the plane to Kansas City. I would have loved to have taken that road trip. And that's something I definitely want to do in the future. Maybe take a Vegas road trip or go, you know, completely to California. But that's something that I plan to do one day.
Oh yeah, because Invicta's in Kansas City a lot, right? Invicta.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The food was phenomenal. It was probably the best food I've ever had in my life.
I hear really good things like about Kansas City, like that it's like really nice.
It was beautiful. It was like, because I remember a couple days before I was leaving. I think we went, and I don't know if it was March or April, but it was still cool here. And I
Yeah.
remember, like, I was like, all right. So I started packing my stuff. I'm like, let's just check the weather over there because I don't know exactly where Kansas City is. And all of a sudden I look and they're like 90s all week. I was like, oh, fuck. I had to change my entire wardrobe, unpack. I was like, fuck. But it was fine. It actually worked out perfectly. But yeah, it was beautiful.
I hear it's really nice. I would love to get out there eventually, you know?
It was cool, and watching everything when you're flying over. You know, that's the only cool thing about flying. But you know, apart from that, I don't love it at all. But it was awesome. That if I tell everybody take a trip worth of food, you know, it's not the most expensive city in the world, so it's nice too. You know, everybody's on a budget right now, so it's nice to be able to do stuff that's
Yeah,
not economical.
I totally agree.
Do you have any other matches lined up in the future?
So you know, this one this weekend, and then I have my match the following weekend, which I'm really excited for. And then after that, nothing really like solidified yet. But there's like a couple, you know, hopeful prospects of matches. And then I know, you know, in the spring I'm gonna try to do West Coast trials.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Are they in California?
I believe they're gonna be in Vegas. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
love Vegas. I
I
mean,
love
I love it for a little bit, and you know what I mean, not for a long time. I've
yeah.
gone for like a crazy amount. I think I went for 10 days once, which
Oh
was
my God.
insane. Yeah, I went for World Pool Championships. I play 8 ball and 9 ball,
That's
and
so cool.
yeah, it was great. I went once in 2001, and then I went again in like 2000. I think it was 2005. And I'm hoping to go. You know, I wouldn't go. I personally, because I've been for free twice, I wouldn't pay. I'm like, I won't go, but I'll get it for free if I could win a trip. You know, so
Yeah, that's great.
I have a couple opportunities to win some pool tournaments to get to Vegas, and there's literally that's where they all are. And there's a couple like Mohegan Sun. They're gonna have one next summer, and here and there in Atlantic City, but the big ones are in Vegas.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yep. So I'm hoping I have an opportunity, and if we win a tournament, my doubles partner and and I think it's in the tournament's in January or February. If we win that, it would be like a month later. We would fly out there for I think 3 or 4 days, but that's just good enough.
Yeah, no, that's honestly like 4 days is ideal for Vegas. Like anything else, I feel like it would just destroy my body.
Uh, no, and I mean for me, I don't drink, so it's awesome, which is good. But you know, and then I could go and eat whatever I want, which will be even better. But it's cool, you know, the opportunity. I love uh competing in general. So for me, it's been, you know, years since I competed as a kid, but I had always competed in pool, but I had stopped competing in like athletics. I didn't really have anything. So when I
Yeah.
started, you know, doing jujitsu, was right when COVID happened, which was so funny. I hadn't competed in jujitsu, but I was
Yeah.
able to at the very least roll live, have fun while I wasn't able to shoot pool because I was not going to go do that in a mask and, you know, touch the balls at the
Yeah,
same
that's
time.
horrible, right? Like it's just like it's silly to have to wear a mask and do athletics.
Made no sense of any kind. I'm like, you guys realize that you're wearing a mask, but you're touching all of these balls and the rails and this and
Lit-
that. Like, make it make sense.
Yeah, it literally doesn't make any sense.
It made, and my, I remember like the owner didn't want to have to do it. She felt bad. And like the owners of the bars didn't want to have to do it. They felt bad. It was, they had to
Yeah.
go. Everybody else did,
Up-
unfortunately.
The government was making everyone do it.
Oh yeah, it was unfortunate. And the worst part is people that were losing their businesses over it and stuff. It was terrible. And I mean, thankfully, I kept on saying the reason why I kept my membership and paid my dues was because if I want a pool league to go back to,
Yeah.
you got to pay for it. So that was the issue. Is I know a lot of people were having problems with their gyms and their gym memberships and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I actually paid for my membership through COVID as well, because I was like, I don't want to see, my gym's business fail. So I paid the entire time because I wanted a gym to come back to. Like COVID was destroying a lot of businesses, a lot of small businesses.
It destroyed so much. And I agree with you. I needed something to come back to. And that's why, I didn't care. I went out to restaurant. I was living like it was nothing. So for
Oh,
me, I'm sure you were doing the same thing. It was just like, well,
yeah,
whatever.
no, I didn't care. And, when I went to work, I would have to kind of like follow the protocol and everything like that. With the masks, it would be like back to reality. That's like the hard part about working in healthcare. But like I didn't agree with a lot of the policy because, working in science, it's a science. I know that touching something with gloves and then touching your face is not, it's just silly, a lot of it dissonance.
No, I agree with you. And it's so funny because I kept on saying that. I'm like, literally, this goes against everything I ever learned, everything that I ever thought was no, it goes against everything I fucking learned. Like you can't breathe in your own toxins. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Your skin is biggest organ on your body, and here we are, like worried about our mouth. I was like, stop. So for me, watching really intelligent people
Yeah.
throw like their whole everything they like know out the window was like, what are we doing here? Like it was really shocking.
It's so crazy.
I'm just glad it's over. And you know what I'm really glad about? Because I
Yeah.
remember back in September, they were trying to like do
Yep.
this whole it's back 2.0, all this shit. And I'm like, oh hell no, I don't care. I'm not putting a mask back on. I don't give a fuck. And that died out really quick.
I was really happy about that too, because honestly, like a huge fear of mine and source of anxiety is fear that they're gonna try something again. You know what I mean? Because a lot of it's, and maybe this is my opinions and maybe an unpopular one, but I think a lot of it's for government control.
Who say that, especially on here. I am a big fan of talking about that. I don't shy away and I don't care. We do everything uncensored because listen, I've been censored so many times. I got like literally like, banned on every fucking social media outlet that you can imagine, with the exception that they didn't take my website down. And it was so crazy because I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm literally just saying
Yeah.
fact and the truth. And then I'm getting all like this fact check. And I'm like, no, but I would write them back. I'm like, that you're absolutely wrong. And I will prove it to you. And I would literally cite articles and this and that. And they just don't like,
Yeah.
government control. Just
And
a for them to do what they want.
of free speech, you know what I mean? But we've gotten to the point where there is no free speech. Everything is tech, big tech, you know what I mean? And following, what's popular and you know what I mean? And a lot of it is just, ridiculous.
I have a lot of the same views I can see, and I love it. It makes me very happy. But I'm seeing a lot of things change right now. Like all the political stuff that I've been watching lately, like I just recently caught the Trump trial just to see what was going on. And like he's talking about everything we're talking about. I'm like, dude, he's like the people that hate him the most are the people that are really watching it. And I'm like, he is just give a fuck. And the judge is so mad about it. And I'm like, you could see an extreme bias. He's not wrong.
Yeah. You
Like
could
he's
tell
not.
like the people that are not part of the global elites, they easily get,
I
you
fucking
know,
love it. I was like, I know she's a fine. No, we are a lot alike. I love it. I love it. I love it.
it's true. They just get attacked, like, you know what I mean? And not gonna get into my opinions on Trump, but
No,
you know what I mean? but it's like anybody that just doesn't agree with the government and the global elites, you know what I mean? Regardless of their political stance, the government will find a way to get rid of them or
Oh,
censor.
absolutely. And I said to my friend the other day, if he wasn't under constant attack by like everyone, I might go, well, but I'm like, you know what? Orange guy got my vote again because at the same, it's too much for me to go. This isn't coordinated. This isn't planned. So, and then I'm watching. I wasn't watching. I got a notification on it was Disclosed TV or something like that, and they were talking about um her name is Marsha Blackburn. She's one of the politicians, congresswoman or something, and she was talking about the Epstein flight logs, and they are I don't know what it's called, but they are passing a bill or something that they want those flight logs and they want them now. They said that there are too many people on them that have been there for too many reasons, and they don't want just the names. They want to know what they were doing, how long they were there, where they went, because there's a lot of people on there that, like, some people. There was one guy, I won't say his name out loud, that his plane broke down
Yeah.
and he put a ride on Epstein's plane from Florida to fucking New Jersey. Tell me what you're going to do on there. Not much. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So and I think that honestly, the entire American public and the world has the right to know, because this involves everybody that we've all looked up to, or, donate to their campaigns or whatever the case may be, because I didn't, but a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And, prominent doctors and stuff. So it's wild that it hasn't, but the stuff that will come out, it's makes me crazy. So I'm really, really, really hopeful that all the stuff that I've been seeing in the last week or so is a sign of that's all going to come out sooner than later. And, listen, we would get in trouble if that was us.
Oh, for sure. People have been crucified over less if they're not on
Yeah,
the right side of global elites, you know?
absolutely. It's been happening for longer than we even think. I thought this was like a new thing. This has been going on for so long. Look at JFK.
Yeah.
We could go on and on with all these powerful voices that were silenced,
Yep.
and they'll blame it on the crazy person or blame it on this. And it's like, how many needs to happen before it's not a coincidence anymore?
Like, but who hired that person? You know what I mean? It's like,
Camera, because I have so many, like, I have so much stuff that I have researched in the last like 3 years. And I'm like, dude, it all traces back to like a couple things, and it's just so painfully obvious.
it
It's
is.
it's wild. And like that's why I was talking when you were saying before about the TV and stuff. So many people are so wrapped up in such bullshit. And there's so many other things that matter and count. Like I didn't give a fuck about politics until like 2019. And then like I didn't even care about farming or anything until about a year or two ago. And then now I'm like, I won't put any canola oil in my food. I won't eat any.
That's smart, honestly. Like I still eat junk. I'm guilty of that, but there's like a lot of our food is just poison.
I eat junk, but I try to eat good junk and I try to cook it myself. I just got a notification earlier today that this guy said that he works for Aldi, that food market. And a lot of people think because it's got like their no name brands that it's like a crappy food market, but they are from, I believe, Germany, and they follow European standards only.
Wow.
So you
I
not
didn't know.
find that shit in your food. And I'm gonna go shopping there.
Wow, I had no clue.
I didn't either. And when I heard that, I'm like, well, I'm going to go there this week and see what it's about. Because if I start turning over the labels and I don't see like soy oil and this and that, I'm starting to shop there.
No, I think that's honestly a great idea. I'll check it out. I've never been to an Aldi before.
We have one around here, maybe two. And I just always thought it was like, like you're not going to get anything good in there. I'm not going to bother. And what a fucking foolish move on my part. So I'm definitely checking them out. Cause like, I mean, we're, especially for people like us working
Yeah.
out,
Oh, for
feeding.
sure.
Yeah, you got to be careful about what you put inside your body. And like you said, our food is absolute poison. It's been designed that way
Yep.
for 70 years, I'd say.
Yep.
And I remember food taste, because I'm 44. I remember food tasted completely different when I was a kid, in the way of like anything that had preservatives now was just such a different taste. I'm like that. never tasted like that. Like an Entenmann's donut never tasted waxy and weird. Now it does.
Yep. And now it does. You're right. Even when I was a kid, it didn't taste as like, waxy and weird. And now it's just ridiculous.
Same. And it's like, oh, I could literally, like, I'll eat something. I'm like, this isn't like what I had it like, 15, 20 years ago. So I've seen, and it's funny, there are people I talk about the tastes in food from places that they buy it from. There's
Yeah.
are saying that their kids say that the food from Costco is not as good as the ones from the supermarket because it doesn't have all the garbage in it.
Okay. That's interesting.
Hold their shit to a different standard as well. So I mean, I could see kids going, it's not good, it doesn't have the sugar in it or whatever. But I'm so interested that I want to go and like read the ingredients and compare and contrast, because that's something. This is huge and crazy. It's like, talk about a fucking trying to keep people sick, sad, and sad.
Yeah. So that they could sell them the pills. You know what I mean? So they could sell
Yeah,
them pills through Big Pharma. Yeah.
yep. And then everything that I take isn't FDA approved, but in other countries, it's taken like, that's just a regular practice of what they drink or eat or ingest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
it's
here, it's like if the cost doesn't outweigh, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to do it if there's not a good, cost for them. Like if they don't receive the money, they're not going to, push it.
so,
They're going to ban it.
it's so true. And then they complain about the obesity rate in America, but yet then they celebrate it with all the ads that they had. I mean, Victoria's Secret put
Yeah.
out a statement saying they were going to change back to more of a sexy feminine look because they had
Yeah.
such a flash over, what they changed. And I get it. Like, I don't want to ever, crucify anybody for, not being in shape.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be celebrated where little kids don't give a fuck about themselves and are getting like early diabetes and, shit
Well,
they
that's
can't.
the thing. It's like we need to promote health. You know what I mean? Like it's understood that some people are going to be heavier than others naturally, but you know what I mean? Just promoting like overall health, like not being like, not being like those like the unhealthy figure models. Like I know some people are naturally like that, but the ones that are doing it unhealthily and then also not being heavy just to be heavy. You know what I mean? Like there has to be like just promoting like eating well,
Yes.
working out to feel good. You know what I mean? Like, and just be whatever weight you are, but like with those practices.
Yeah. Cause you know what? You'd see people look how they're supposed to, if
Yeah.
people eat and moderate. Oh God, there's so much that we could get into about it. And it's so true because it
Yeah.
would people wouldn't want to get Botox as much. It would
Yeah.
change that and a lot healthier. And it's so much. And I look at people that like they go and buy the most expensive beauty products and then they'll like eat garbage. And I'm like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But
No.
and it's also like I think instant gratification. I want it easy, fast, and now, which is also good why we have meal prep companies because people can get something better, maybe
Oh, yeah.
homemade. Yeah.
I agree. I think it's great. You know what I mean? Just to make it like easier and more cost effective. Because the truth is, all the easy, cost effective food is unhealthy for you typically. You know what I mean? Everything else is more expensive and takes prep time, and a lot of people don't have that.
It's true. And you know what? That's another thing. I would love to see. No, you know what? What did change, and I was very happy, but I would love to see people get more time to be able to have all of that family time, quality time stuff that we
Yeah.
used to have. But I did notice, I think it was during COVID, the whole hours at the mall changed. And they used to be, I remember like Macy's was open till midnight during Christmas. And I remember Macy's used to be open till like 10 just regularly. And the mall was open late till like 9 or 10. And now I think 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Everything closes early now. It's crazy.
It's important because people need to have a life,
Yep.
and I love that. I thought that was such a cool thing to do. Also, if you look at like other countries where they take siestas and 2-hour breaks during their day, or the Japanese, they don't work on Sundays or no, they work Sundays, they don't work Mondays. Like there's important things to that. And we here in America are so like we work to live that like there's no downtime. There's no siesta. And I worked at a couple places that they required you to take a break, a long one, like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Helps productivity too.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just so much that we could do as a size as a society. And I was really hoping that COVID and like during that whole time that it would change some things. And I feel like it has, because I'm seeing people that are like, you know, a lot of people just quit shit jobs and they were like, you know what, that they would have kept forever. And they're like,
Yeah.
this is for me. And for their mental health or whatever. And it's just, I'm seeing a lot of really good changes. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm really hopeful for the future.
Oh, I definitely am too. I think it's gonna be good. I'm optimistic.
What do you want for your future?
Like jujitsu wise or in general?
In general, do you ever want to own a school? Do you ever, want to start coaching more? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, so to speak?
Yeah, so career wise, I'm not really sure where I'm gonna end up. I mean, right now I'm a nurse, but I don't know if this is what I want to do forever. I love it right now, but I'm not sure if maybe eventually down the line I'll want to open a gym, but
Mm.
what I mean? That's all up in the air. At the end of the day, like I feel like I want to like help other people to compete. You know what I mean? Like I would love to go into it like a coach role at some point. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think more women should do that. That's super important because, like, I mean, you could coach anybody, but there's not enough to have that like female perspective. Like, you get people that come in and like people talk about their problems at the gym, and it's so
Yeah.
much. But I think that's super important, and you can learn more while you're coaching because whenever you're teaching, you're always going to learn. So I think that's amazing. And I think you have a super bright future. My light turned off. Super
Oh,
bright future ahead of you. I cannot wait to see you.
thank you.
Right? No, is it the
Yeah.
18th?
The
Okay.
18th. Yeah.
For men for 19th. Super stoked. Is there anything that you want to talk about? I wanted to do a longer one than the last time because that was more for the fight. This was more to learn about you. Is there
Yeah.
anything get out there that we haven't talked about?
Nothing that I could really think of. Just shout out to all my friends, family, training partners that helped me get here, and all the people that help me on a regular basis. And I feel really grateful for the people that are like around me.
Amazing, amazing. And any coaches that you want to thank and give me your social media handles so everybody can give you a follow.
Yeah, absolutely. So my social media, if people want to follow, is a Clockwork Armbar, all one word. My coach from day one is Yanni Hernakis. That's Up Top Martial Arts, and then my current coach is Mike Wacker, who coaches me alongside Yanni, and he's I believe under Wacker's Wizardry. I can't talk today. Um, and the two of them have been so amazing for me in my jujitsu career, and I owe them everything.
Amazing. I am so excited. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to me. And I cannot wait to see you in a week.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you.
Welcome. We got to take a picture together.
We do. When